Greetings to all our readers and indeed our listeners out there. We're very lucky today to be here with Finnish singer Jonna, who is taking part in the 2011 Finnish national final. Welcome and thank you for taking part in this interview.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pleasure.
First, can you start at the beginning and tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started singing?
Well, sure, yeah, I always was singing. Just as soon as I learned how to use my voice, I was singing. And the same thing with dancing. Like, before I would even know how to sit up, I was always, like, moving if I heard music. And the stroller was moving, apparently, or something. My parents told me. So I've always had music in my blood, and in my blood, not bloods.
Bit of a born performer.
Yeah, and then, so I grew up singing at school. I was in a music-oriented school, and we would sing every day, and I was in different choirs, and I didn't always exactly enjoy the choirs so much, because I always had that, I don't know, the artist in me kind of wanted to stand out and do something different. But then when I grew up and in high school, I started singing solos at school, and
Yep.
and that's how it kind of began. But then for the career, how that began was that I participated in the Popstars in Finland. They were searching for a girl band, and I figured that, well, I've got nothing to lose, so I guess I could just participate and see how it goes. And it went well, because I won. They chose me into the band.
And how has your career evolved since your experience on Popstars?
Well, I actually had a very short visit with Popstars, because after a month in the band, it started feeling like it's really not my thing. And kind of the same experience that I had in the choirs back in the day, when I was just feeling like, I don't want to do this, I want to do something that I want to do, and the kind of music that I want to sing. And so I was brave, and I just took off and figured that I will have another opportunity sometime. And I did pretty soon after that, because then Sony Music I was signed with Sony Music, and then we released 3 albums actually all together.
Excellent. How did you come to take part in the Finnish national final for 2011?
Well, it was actually on Facebook where I found out or realized that they are accepting demos from everyone for the competition, because usually I hadn't really paid attention to how the process goes, but back in the day when I was with Sony Music, it was pretty obvious that they would only send one from each record company, and those years I wasn't the lucky one to be sent out, even though I would have kind of wanted to do it, but maybe it wasn't the right timing then. And also probably because of how the music in Eurovision has been changing throughout the years a little bit.
Yep.
From, like, yeah. So, but this time I sent out the demo, and I was like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I didn't write a song that would be kind of like a Eurovision song, but I wrote a
Yep.
song that I thought would be great for Eurovision also. And I think I did a good job. We'll see if the people think so too.
Is the reason you wrote your song in English, is that to be more universal? And would you consider doing a Finnish version of your song?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to be more universal and international and reach out from Finland, because I knew that if I kept singing in Finnish, no one would really be able to pick it up anywhere else. So, so I wanted to write a whole new album in English, and that's what I'm now releasing next year. Then
Your song Puppets, it's fairly scathing towards the idea of image within the music industry. Why did you decide to write on this topic?
Well, I've always had this little desire to create shock value. And in the beginning of my career, as I say in my song or sing in my song that I don't agree with my past today. So it refers to my first album and how I did everything back then. I was pretty much just following and doing everything that Madonna had done. Well, of course, not everything, but still, I was just wearing really scandalous outfits and trying to show the world how I could do anything and no one can stop me. And of course, those things are true. I can do everything and anything because we all can. But I did grow up a little bit after that phase, and I realized that I don't necessarily want to promote this kind of style. That I want to have a rebellion against this one way of selling music. And of course, there's a ton of different artists who don't sell with sex per se, but there are still a lot of artists who do, and it's not necessarily even the artist who wants to do that. They may say so, even think to themselves that, yes, I want to do this and this is my choice, but I can actually say from experience that in my case it wasn't my choice, even though I thought it was. I kept telling to everyone that, yeah, this is what I want to do, but it really, deep down inside, it wasn't what I wanted to do, but it was what I thought I should do. And I only did it because I figured that I can. But there are options, and I want to give another alternative to people, especially to young women.
It's a very self-empowering, feel-good, shock value kind of song.
Yeah, and I'm proud of the way that I was able to shape it up. It took me a couple of years, actually. I was thinking about writing that song about this topic, but I just couldn't get my words together. I was trying to figure out how to say it without offending everyone, and and then I finally realized that I can make it into a show. That I'm singing about a show, so in a way it's not so serious, but at the same time I am saying something that I do really believe in and something that is important to me.
Have you always been a fan of Eurovision, or is this just something you've decided to try?
Well, I haven't been a huge fan throughout my life, but recently, these couple of years, I've been starting to grow very attached to some older songs. Like, of course, ABBA is a legendary, amazing pop group, and their music has always been good. But then I've started finding all these cool songs that used to win, like the Ding-a-Dong, or Ding Ding-a-Dong, that one song. By Teach In, and that's been my favorite song now. Especially the Finnish translation of it is so clever.
What is it in Finland?
It's basically just singing that it's the same lyrics in a way, but it somehow makes it very, very funny, because basically they're just saying that, now you hear on the radio and then tomorrow you'll forget how the tune went. And, it's kind of like giving some kind of criticism to the pop music back then.
So it's a little more satirical, a little more obviously satirical than the original version.
Yeah, I think so. Because probably just because the Finnish language is very straightforward, so it's very hard to make any to imply slightly about something. So it's just straightforward.
Do you have any favorite Finnish Eurovision songs?
Well, I did like the one that Lordi performed.
Hard Rock Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, yeah. But probably if it hadn't succeeded so well, I don't know if I would have liked it as much.
So it's more the memory attached to it.
Yeah, and it's probably also the patriotism. Whenever your own country does something well or wins, or it's just, it feels good and it makes you grow attached to the song more. But of course, it's a good song. It's a fun song, and they did something that was different, and that's why I think they won.
Yes, definitely. When you're not singing, what else do you do with yourself? What are your hobbies?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I dance. I've always been dancing, and it was actually kind of professional at one point. I was in musicals and dancing behind other artists as a backup dancer and teaching dance for over 10 years in different dance schools and winning different competitions in Finland. And it's always been an amazing hobby because it's really built me up as a person, and also it helps me in everything. It's a great hobby. I love it.
If you're unsuccessful this or next year in Euroviisut, as I hope I pronounced it right,
Yeah.
what are your plans for the rest of the year?
Well, then I'm going to start contacting different organizations and different campaigns to see if some of the other songs from my upcoming album would fit onto their thing. Like if, for example, some commercial would need a song, an uplifting song. I've got tons of those. I've got other things that I write, sing about, and there's a lot of things that I hope that I can have as many people hear as possible.
Lastly, do you have a message to our listeners?
Well, yeah. I want to encourage people to vote for, like, even in Finland and in other national selections, that and especially in the finals in Germany, that they would vote for those artists or those acts that are, or the songs that are somehow different. That I would want to encourage everyone to try to find those that have not been done before, because there's always the songs about love or this or that or those things that we hear over and over again, and they're still great. They're well done and amazing shows and dancers and everything. But I would want to see someone win who has a different message to share and a different, just a different performance and everything. Because that's what I've tried to do, and I really, really hope that people see that effort that we put into it. And if they like it, then who knows? Maybe we can show Europe also.
So a little bit of a 2011 rebellion against cliché.
Yeah, exactly. I want to break the cliché and show people that, hey, just like last year, the song that won last year could have been played on the radio anywhere, regardless of Eurovision. It was just a good pop song. So I hope that the same could happen this year, and we can bring Eurovision back to the music industry as a valued and respected music competition, and not just something where people try to do the same thing over and over.
I'm sure we can all agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, cool, good.
On behalf of our readers and listeners at ESCDaily, and on behalf of myself, I'd like to thank you for participating in this interview, and wish you all the best in the semi-final you're participating in Euroviisut in February.
Yeah, thank you so much.